welcome to Artistic Adventures. We're finishing up our Japanese doll project today by adding socks, sandals, and a few other final touches. These are the sandals. I thought you'd find this interesting that the geishas wear. See how tall they are? I don't know how they walk in them. And these are the socks with the one toe. Not going to be able to make those exactly like that, and not going to make the tall sandals, just some really flat sandals like they might wear every day. So first I'm going to start out by getting a pattern of the doll's foot and measuring it, cut it away just to make sure I get a proper fit. So I can make some soles for the sandals, and I'll be making those out of polymer clay. So I've got my polymer clay that I've cut out, and now I'm just measuring to see if I have them correctly sized to fit her feet, and also indenting them in the clay just a little bit. It helps with the foot. Now, as you notice, this doll's feet are super tiny and they have no toes. So I'm actually going to cut a little triangle out to make it seem as though she has a big toe because I want to put a strap of the sandal in between the toes. So I'm determined to have this look somewhat authentic. So anyway, these feet on these dolls are just incredibly small. I wish they were more proportionate to her size, but anyway, this is a piece of white tights, nice and stretchy, so that'll be the sock material. And just cutting out two pieces of that. I'll only sew one seam and that'll go up the back. So it's sort of pointed on the end and then straight up, and it'll come just past her ankles up. Now I did put a little seam in there. I hand sewed it, and now I'm going to be turning the socks. And once I get those turned, we'll try them on and see how they look. And they look pretty cute. So now I want to punch a hole in my baked polymer clay soles so I can put a string through there that will end up going through her gap in her toes, and then we'll tie the ribbon to a string, and that will be the straps of the sandal. Okay, so I'm just using a bit for my little tool, and I didn't even need the tool. This is so soft, I went right through it. So now I'm tying a piece of white cotton string onto the middle of this piece of ribbon, and then I'm using my bead needle that I've used before. It's really great because it has that big eye, and I was able to put the thread through there, and then I'm putting it through the hole in the sandal, and that's going to be the part that will be between the toes. All right, so I'm just sort of measuring to see how that's going to fit and how that looks, and I really felt like I needed to make that cut a little bit deeper, so I did take my sharp implement and cut a little bit deeper into the toe, just trying to make sure I can get it to where it looks like that thread goes between the toes. And then once I get it to where it fits, I'm just putting a little glue on the bottom to hold the thread through in place. So I'm doing that to both of the sandals, and that first thread I put on there, one of them broke, so I had to put another one on. And then once we do this, we'll let the glue dry and work on another part of her costume. So those are done, and we'll be setting those aside for just a moment. Now I have a green piece of cotton thread, and you will see people use a decoration around the obi sash, and they just tie it off and then tuck it up under the obi in the back. It might have a decoration of some sort. This one is way larger than probably anything they would really have, but I love it because it has the green stone in the middle. That's the color of her kimono, and then the purple sort of is a nice shade against the red of the designs in her kimono. So I just glued that on there, and now I'm snipping off that extra piece of thread that wasn't glued down on the bottom, and we're going to try fitting these little tiny, tiny sandals on. This is just crazy. I don't know why they make their feet so little. And I had to resort to gluing the sandal on the bottom of the sock because I couldn't get it to stay on with the thread between the toe and look like it was actually fitting her. So, oh well, good old glue. So I glued the sandal to the bottom of the sock, put the thread through the toe gap, and now I'm just going to glue the sides of the ribbon down on either side so it looks like sort of like the traditional flip-flop that we use here in the United States. And looks halfway like the Japanese sandals. So I turned the doll around then and glued the other side down and then trimmed off the remaining. So there's our little tiny, tiny sandals. And I also read that they tend to walk with their toes slightly pointed together. That seems to be more attractive for them. And here's our finished doll in her full kimono with all her hair decorations and her little sandals. And I think she turned out really nice. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and we'll be moving on to another project after this. And as always, please subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Thanks, and bye.